It does not believe that salvation can be found in anything in this illusion and can only be achieved through going back to the cause, which is the mind, and remembering that you are the dreamer of the dream, not a little pawn within the dream. God doesn't know this is going on. He has no clue. He doesn't know you're dreaming a nightmare. Welcome back to one's journey of unwinding the mind and, of course, your daily microdose. Now tune in to the latest episode of One's Journey. Today we're going to talk about why I believe A Course in Miracles is not New Age, why it does not fit into the New Age spirituality of things such as astrology, human design, gene key readings, energy work, the list goes on. The first real big thing that I think is the biggest giveaway is that A Course in Miracles is assisting you in untying the ego. And the ego is the creator of this illusion, is this projection. So it's really teaching you about separating from the illusion and changing your perception of the illusion, meaning your perception of the illusion is that it's not truth. And when your perception has changed to it not being truth, then the impact it has on you is no longer. The New Age, and I can speak to this because there's years of me really going down that route of the New Age spirituality and conversations with God and how I believed I was a little God, and what the goal here was to make a better dream. And it worked a lot in the aspect of sometimes I would manifest things. I felt like I knew more about myself when I did human design. But in the end, it was not the whole thing. It was always just enough to get that dopamine hit, but then to fall off the edge and feel like, what? This makes no sense. When I was seeking through human design and manifestation and astrology and gene key readings, what I was continuing to tell my subconscious was, you have no fucking clue who you are. That you have to ask something outside of you, meaning I was seeking my answers externally. I believe that is a huge piece of the New Age. And I know a lot of times in New Age spirituality, you're told that your answers are within. But the problem is you're told that you can only find those answers within if you do X, Y, and Z outside of you. And if you focus on making the illusion better. There's actually a very famous person that claims to be a teacher of the Course in Miracles. And they say that first focus on creating a better illusion, and then you'll be able to become enlightened. Well, that's not the case, because the steps to enlightenment is untying yourself from the ego, which is the one that views this illusion at truth. And if you're focused on making a better illusion, then aren't you saying that the illusion is true and that your peace and happiness is found within the illusion? That's where you're seeking it? A Course in Miracles, on the other hand, is really the journey of fully changing your perception, meaning moving from the belief system of the ego and choosing the Holy Spirit's belief system on a regular basis so that you can truly see this illusion for the untruth that it is. So when someone dies or you get hurt or you're broke as fuck, you don't take that on as if it is true. As if that is your reality. So you are able to move through it much easier, and it doesn't have impact because it's not true. Again, like we talk about a dream. When we wake up the next morning from a dream, all this catastrophe and awful things could have occurred, but in fact, it doesn't matter because it was just a dream. This just happens to be a dream that we feel like we're in a lot longer when in fact we're actually not. It's just that is our experience of it. So in order to change our perception, it's not that the dream gets worse. It's not that the dream doesn't get better. I think it actually gets better than if you try to manipulate it, because you have changed your perception. And the illusion is an illusion of duality. We've talked about that before. So if I manifest the car and get that positive piece, there will be something in my life that is negative to offset that, because it's duality. It has to occur. But when I'm coming from a place of seeing the illusion for the falsehood it is, if I get that car, okay, great. If that car crashes 2 days later, okay, fine. You are detached from seeing it as truth and your reality, instead seeing it for what it is, which is not your truth. And that goes for the body as well. I really find that the New Age spirituality movement believes that the healing occurs within the body. It's manipulation of the illusion, which I see that as actually rooting yourself further into the ego belief system, because you are placing so much weight on the parts of the illusion needing to be transformed in order for you to find that internal peace and happiness, which in fact it can't be found there. It's this roller coaster of ups and downs. Dopamine hits, then not, then dopamine hits, then not. When the way in which the Course in Miracles shares is really that state of perception change that can provide you consistent, even keel peace and happiness. Because again, you are not seeing the illusion as truth. You are seeing it as what it actually is, and what you actually are within it. And what you actually are is you are the dreamer. You are dreaming this dream. You are not the character in the dream, but the dreamer of the dream. Another big piece is when you're trying to break those two apart of New Age spirituality, you're like, oh, is this New Age or is this helping me untie the ego belief system? Are you focused on the projection? Also known as, are you focused on the effect or the cause? And A Course in Miracles teaches us that our focus is meant to be on the cause at the level of the mind, the thing that caused this projection that we believe we are experiencing right now. When we believe that the only way to obtain eternal peace and happiness is through the utilization of the body to mold the illusion, we are just fully in the illusion. We are tying ourselves deeper and deeper into the ego belief system. Yeah, we're creating a better dream, but in fact, are we? Because there's that saying, when you get more money, it's not that you have less problems. You have bigger problems. You just have larger problems. And I think that's a direct representation of what really focusing on obtaining milestones and molding the illusion for your peace and happiness shows you the duality. Your problems are just bigger. Your downs are just deeper. So the question is, are you done looking at this illusion as truth? And so that, to me, is why I believe A Course in Miracles is not a part of the New Age spirituality movement. It does not believe that salvation can be found in anything in this illusion and can only be achieved through going back to the cause, which is the mind, and remembering that you are the dreamer of the dream, not a little pawn within the dream. You are not, as conversations with God would say, God experiencing itself either. That's another conversation for another day as well, but God doesn't know this is going on. He has no clue. He knows you are dreaming, but he doesn't know you're dreaming a nightmare. You got yourself here. Radical ownership is what it's going to take. Also, the New Age spiritual movement really believes that the body heals and the body is your temple. A Course in Miracles teaches that the body is just as untrue as everything else in this illusion. It just so happens to be the thing in which the ego created to make us really feel that this is real and that we are separated from everything in here, when in fact, if we're the dreamer, everything is one. When we believe that healing occurs at the level of the body, we're missing the entire thing. Because if we're the dreamer, it happened at the level of the mind before it ever happened at the body. So the body literally cannot do anything on its own. And in the New Age spiritual movement, many times the body is used as the temple, as the vessel for healing. Don't go to the mind, get out of your mind, into your body. And A Course in Miracles is like, get into the mind and not your brain, into the mind, the creating place of this, where the Holy Spirit lies, the belief system of the Holy Spirit, your highest self, and the ego belief system, and where the dreamer can make a choice of which belief system it wants to view this dream it has created from. To sum it up, I see the New Age spirituality movement as really the molding of the illusion to make it better, not about waking up from the dream and realizing the untruth it is. And when you realize the untruth it is, I think it actually becomes even more enjoyable and just easy to move through everything. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this video was helpful for you. Please share any thoughts or ideas you have in regards to this. Where do you see in the New Age spirituality movement, maybe where there's similarities, where there's differences? I absolutely appreciate you. Without you, there is not this beautiful community that we are building. And as always, until next time, remember, you are worth it. Love you.